Hello, hello, hello. I am your host, Matt Montague, for the first episode of Dying to See Me. I'm with a co-host today who is going to be Joe Farewell, right?
What's up, man? I appreciate you having me on here for this inaugural episode. It's pretty cool.
Epic episode, I'm hoping.
Epic inaugural episode.
Right.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah. So we named this podcast Dying to See Me, and it's for the company that I own. We clean homicides, suicides, drug labs, hoarders, company named Sterile Pros, LLC. And so that's why the premises of this dying to see me, because people are dying to see me. So
it's very, very witty. I can
thank you. Yeah. So we wanted to have you on, talk to you a little bit about your life and a little bit about what you do, also because it integrates with kind of what I do.
Yeah.
You were a police officer at one time, correct?
I was. I spent 7 years in law enforcement down in Florida. So I got to see a lot of the stuff that you get to clean up now. So,
Yeah.
And it's funny to see like the crossroads because in what I do now, I do a lot of instruction. So I'm a firearms instructor, full-time competitive shooter and instructor. And I get to go all over the place and teach people how to defend themselves. And one of the conversations is well, what do you do if you have to use your firearm in self-defense, if you have a situation like that? And people are like, well, you call the cops, all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, but what about afterwards? Like, cause that's something that most people don't realize. Is like, cops aren't there to clean up the mess. It's not even like they're not there. They're not going to be there to save you. They're not there to clean up the mess. They're just there to take a report and maybe catch the bad guy later on. That's the goal, obviously. But I tell people like one of the things on your list, if you use it, is you have to figure out how to clean it up too.
That's correct. At the end of the day, the first thing that everybody thinks is firemen, police, they're there to save me and they're there to clean this mess. Yeah. And that's just not the case, right? Fingers, eyeballs, teeth, brain matter, it stays. Nobody gets it. And then I get these frantic calls and you can hear the shakiness. Obviously they've been through some sort of traumatic event, mm-hmm. and then they start to talk about it. And it becomes quite scary for them, and they just don't know what to do, right?
Well, they're in shock.
Yeah, they cannot believe that the police department or fire department or whoever else just left this mess.
Yeah.
Even though that's their job, right? Same with the coroners, right? The coroner doesn't do that. The coroner comes in, picks up the body. Anything that's smaller than 2 fists is left. Like mm-hmm. I said, brain matter, teeth, things of this nature, that just gets left.
Yep.
And then they're like, what do I do? How do I clean this up? Right? Like who pays for this? How do I, and what everybody doesn't understand is your homeowner's insurance will cover this at 100%.
Really? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Homeowner's insurance, business insurance, terrorist insurance, all of that will cover it. You still have a deductible.
Yeah.
But this is the one thing that they will never be able to raise your rates.
Yeah.
So if you have like a flood, they can raise your rates and it can go up to 45%. In a death, any type of death, even if it's a natural cause and somebody lays there for a week or so, your mm-hmm. Insurance company will cover it, hands down.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good to know. Good information to push out there.
Right. Yeah. So when I tell people, hey man, it's covered, we'll take care of it, and it does make me feel good also to help the community, right? After something so nuts, right?
Absolutely.
I was telling them yesterday we did some Action Junkies yesterday podcast. Mm-hmm. I was explaining to them that we did a case where a robber broke into a house. Homeowner had told him he had to leave. He tried to reach into his bag, tried to pull out a gun. He had to kill him because he has 2 kids in there, and
absolutely.
Then we have to come in and clean it. But even protecting your family, right? That changes your life when it comes
absolutely.
To dynamics of PTSD and things that you get afraid of. It's crazy that people just don't understand how much of it changes you.
100%, and it's really interesting coming on my end of it, where I'm usually helping people. A lot of the clients that I get in the training industry are people who have been affected by something like that. Now they're like, oh shit, like I was robbed, or I had my house broken into and I live in a nice neighborhood and I never thought this could happen to me, and now I need to take steps to get myself prepared. And like you said, effect that it has on your entire life is significant. And what we can do, we provide different services, but what we can do is we can actually give people a peace of mind and something else to think about. And so yours is a little bit different because you're like the immediate. Mine's usually a little bit of the after effect later on, where it's like, well, let's get you squared away to give you back some of the confidence that those people took away from you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about some guns. What would be your favorite concealed weapon to carry? Like, what do you think is the best?
Man, it's such a cliche answer, but whichever one you can shoot really well.
Really?
A lot of people go down the rabbit hole of, you need something super small and super light and super like compact. And the problem with those is a lot of times you can't shoot them well. It's hard to shoot them well. You can be effective with them, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of practice.
Sure.
So what I recommend people is, hey, get what you are comfortable with. Like, try some different guns. Usually the bigger gun is going to give you a better grip, less recoil. It's going to give you more control over the gun, and you're going to shoot it better. So typically the smallest I'll have people go is like the SIG P365. I think it's a great gun. I've carried one of those for years. People go all the way up to a full-size Glock, full-size 2011, which is a little bit more weight, and you have to keep that in mind when you're talking about, well, how do I actually carry it on my person? And the biggest thing I would say is get a good quality holster and get a gun that you can shoot well.
Right.
And that you enjoy shooting, because that's the other thing. So if you buy this little lightweight revolver, it's not fun to shoot. So it's way more effective to get something that you enjoy practicing with than like get something you shoot it one time like, yeah, that sucked, but I'm going to carry it anyway.
Yeah. Get
something that you enjoy shooting and that you can be good with.
Sure. I like the Smith & Wesson Shield 40. Mm-hmm. It's my favorite to carry. It's compact, but it feels good in my hands. It's not too much of a recoil, even though it's a smaller 40 cal.
Yeah.
My all-time gun is the FN 5.7.
Yeah, those are fun.
Fucking love that gun.
And they're loud too.
Loud, and they, it doesn't have as much recoil as I thought it would have.
Very little, yeah.
But it shreds.
Yes.
Shreds.
And then you get like 20 rounds in the mag or something like
Right.
that. And that's another thing too, is I looking at shooting, because I've looked at a lot of shootings, both law enforcement, civilian shootings, and people run out of ammo a lot faster than they think.
Sure.
So the Shield is 7 rounds in the mag?
7 plus 1.
So you got 8 rounds. That goes really, really fucking fast.
I mean, probably 2 seconds, right? Because you're pulling it. Because, obviously people are scared in the moment, and they're just pulling it.
Exactly.
And another thing that people don't realize is just because you shoot and hit somebody, you could hit them 3 times in the chest, doesn't mean they're going to drop immediately, right?
Well, you were telling me, you're the freaking poster child for that.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so I was explaining to Joe I was shot multiple times when I was 18 years old. And you just don't fall immediately. It doesn't happen.
Bullets are unpredictable.
Right.
That's number one. Is they do weird things that they're not supposed to do. I was actually telling John just a little bit ago with the Action Junkies podcast about a guy that we shot on duty. And he only got shot one time, but it's a 45 Spear Gold Dot. It's a very, very high quality law enforcement round. And he was shot just below the sternum. And it came out just right by his tailbone. And when I rolled the guy over, he was basically okay. I mean, he was in pain, obviously. But when I rolled him over, I picked up the bullet. It stopped in his underwear.
Yeah, crazy.
And I picked up the bullet, and there was no expansion. Right. Not even like a little bit of expansion. It's like, this is the top of the line product, right, and it's not working. So I've seen lots and lots of ballistic tests and stuff like that. I use an ammunition called G9 Defense, and it doesn't require expansion for it to work. I'll get a box. I'll give you one.
Yeah, let me check it out.
Freaking amazing stuff. Barrier blind, so it goes through windshields without deviation.
Wow.
And it doesn't require expansion to actually do its job. So it's some really cool shit.
Wow, that's really good. What made you get out of law enforcement and kind of get into this field that you're doing now with training and tactical training and things of that nature?
So I got into competition shooting about 12 or 13 years ago now, and then got into law enforcement shortly after that. Through law enforcement, I started teaching, and that turned into like doing little little classes on the side so I could afford to shoot competitions. Because as a cop, I didn't make anything. My salary was like nothing. I was making like $500 a week to put my life on the line, and I was doing everything too. I was doing SWAT. I was doing narcotics. I was doing street crimes on a task, like all the things that you could possibly do. I was cramming it all in and still just getting paid nothing. And so I would teach classes on the side so I could afford to shoot competitions. And the teaching continued to grow. The competitions continued to grow. I got better at it, and I loved it. I absolutely, like, I have a passion for shooting and passion for teaching. Like, I genuinely enjoy it. And so 2018, a couple things happened. I had a class that I had to cancel because I got called into work. And I was like, shit, I can make, the class was going to be like $1,200 in a day. I'm like, I can make more in one day than I can in 2 weeks at the police department. That was like a freaking eye opener for me.
Of course.
So then at that point I was like, okay, that's a big deal. And then I'm like, well, let's start figuring out an exit plan. 2-year strategy to get out of the police department is continue working my own business. And a week later, my younger brother was actually killed in a car crash. And I was like, you know what? I'm not waiting around for 2 years. Life's too freaking short to sit around and do something that you're not like fully invested in. So within 3 months after that, I was out, and never, like, there's small little things I miss about it, but the vast majority of it is like, nope, I love what I get to do. I get to bring people into a sport that's amazing. The community that we have in the gun industry and the training industry is by and large just phenomenal people. Because to be a gun owner and to be in this industry, for the most part, especially people that are seeking out training, they're personally responsible. And most of your assholes out there are not personally responsible people. And so when you put this level of personal responsibility on yourself by taking a class, by buying a gun, becoming responsible for your own safety, a lot of the assholery gets pushed away.
Yeah.
And the shitty people in life get pushed away.
Sure.
So most of the people in this industry, the most people I get to hang out with are freaking cool, like just jam up people.
Yeah. Yeah. I see more death than anybody, right?
Yeah.
And I tell people, they always ask me, what is, how do you deal with it, right? We all owe God a death.
Yep. Every
Every one of us will pay that debt. Some more violent than others, some sooner than others. It's just something that has to happen. I tell my wife all the time, there's 2 things in this world I would never do as a job: police officer and a teacher.
Yeah.
I support them both, right? Mm-hmm. I am a humongous supporter of law enforcement, of the military, and a big supporter of teachers. But I just could not deal with the disrespect
Absolutely.
that you get just because it's your job. Without even knowing you as a personal level, people hate your guts.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's racism in uniform form, right? It's and teachers are one thing because like they're kids and they're just disrespectful little shits anyway.
Right.
And I love them dearly, but they can be.
Right.
Now that's also like I raise them to be respectful, but in the uniform, that is literally like people look at you and they already they hate what you are because of what you wear. And it's a tough thing to get over.
Yeah.
And because at the end of the day, you still have to be respectful of them.
Yeah.
And that's where people get screwed up is you. And I'm, like I said, I'm like you said, I'm a full supporter of law enforcement, but I also acknowledge there's issues,
Sure.
right? And I experience them in law enforcement
Mm-hmm.
as a trainer, as a field training officer, as an officer myself, a detective, like doing all that stuff. I experienced both sides of it where I'm like, hey, you can't do that as a cop because that's not going to be okay, right? So we have to be able to hold people accountable, hold a higher standard for them, and give them the training they need, but also keep in mind the fact that, hey, the cops are human too, and you need to acknowledge that it's kind of a shitty situation that you're putting them in every single day of the week.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we're all human. Everybody makes mistakes.
Yep.
Right. But, you can't of course, everybody has to be held liable for what they do, no matter what it is.
Absolutely.
All choices that you make have consequence. Every choice has a consequence.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're driving down the road and you've had one drink and you think it's okay. If you hit somebody, it's still it's a consequence, right?
Yeah.
Playing with a loaded gun. I mean, I do a lot of those, and it's
There's a lot of consequences on that end too.
a lot of big consequences,
A lot
right?
of messy consequences.
You're not coming back from that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to the teachers and law enforcement. Yeah, good for them, man. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's just not something that I could ever do, for sure.
Well, and there's a lot of people who would not be able to do what you do either. A lot of people who couldn't do what you do.
You know, and that's funny because I have had people come in and say to me, "Oh, I can do it. I got this. I can see this. I can do that." And it's usually one or the other. Either you can handle the smell but can't see it, or you can see it and can't handle the smell. Well, I'm the second. I can look at it. I can hold the eyeballs, the brain. None of that bothers me. But the smell.
Yep, that's me.
Oh, dude, the smell.
It doesn't matter. Like I've worked decomps, I've worked suicides, I've worked homicides, and it's a smell that even fresh, it is a very distinct smell. And the longer it waits, the worse it gets.
Yeah, and whatever the temperature is, outside or inside, I mean, the decomposing, and then once the maggots get in there, it's garbage truck juice with just like homeless sex. It's just all, this fucking smell is so bad.
You're bringing back so many wonderful memories right now.
Yeah. I was talking on Bizarre Junkies and explaining that, once your mouth starts to get that water,
Yep.
Fuck, man, there it is. You know it's coming, right? It's not when.
So I've never actually puked on scene.
No.
I've always been able to hold it in, but it's a lot of effort to make sure that I'm breathing effectively, without like bringing it, through the mouth and trying not to taste it still, because that's the worst when you can plug your nose, but you can still taste it. But I've never puked on scene, and that's surprising.
I have multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like sometimes we get in there and it's just
hacked and gagged, yes, but never actually let it out.
Yeah. We did a kid that had died of a fentanyl overdose, and when we got in there, he had these like 5 cats.
Oh shit!
And so when he died of the overdose, the fucking cats obviously didn't feed, right? So they eat off of him, which is
normal
all the time. And then when they ate off of him, they got fentanyl in them and they died. So we come into this fucking shrine of dead animals plus them. It's wild.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah.
That one's straight up nasty.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's definitely different to walk in and see something of that caliber.
Well, and you mentioned the PTSD side of things for people who go through a situation and they're affected by it. But even walking in on something like that, there's a certain level of like intestinal fortitude that you have to have, and it does affect you. I feel like it can affect you. Now, I will tell you, especially early on in my law enforcement career, I remember the first car crash, like bad car crash I worked. And I was in training, and kids ejected and killed, and I remember like going through that and wondering myself, like, why don't I feel something like really off? Like, I know I talk to people, you go through the academy, but they're like, oh, it's gonna fuck you up. You're gonna not be able to sleep. You're gonna have bad dreams. Like, it didn't affect me at the time, and I was worried. I'm like, why can I pick this up and do what I need to do and it not feel like this rushing, overwhelming sense of awfulness? And then there were other times where I saw things that were gruesome, and it did affect me. And I still have like memories that can pop into my head. Now it doesn't affect my daily life, and that's where the D comes in, post-traumatic stress disorder. The disorder happens when it affects your day-to-day life, but the post-traumatic stress is going to be there one way or the other. So how have you found that, especially living in it day in and day out, how does that affect you walking in and seeing something like that?
Yeah, I've been doing this since 2014. I for sure have believed that the PTSD for me has been doing and getting a little bit worse, I think, from this whole ordeal. Seeing death every fucking day, all night. There's some things that trigger me, such as kids, right? Those things, I'm a father, right?
Yep.
Those bother me fucking beyond relief. But like then I see other shit and it doesn't bother me, you know, like whatever the case is, whether it's car accidents or it's somebody, you know, just died in an industrial accident or whatever the case is. Those don't seem to bother me, but the kids fucking bother me real bad.
Yeah.
But you have to, and it doesn't matter how much you you know, we put pictures down of if they're the victim is there, we put the pictures down. We just try not to identify with them, right? We don't want to know if they were fathers or mothers. We just want to get in, clean it, get out. We don't really want to get the gist of what they are, what they do for a living, right? Because then you start to personalize with them, and it makes it fucking even worse.
It's desensitizing and dehumanizing, which sounds awful. But you have to, I agree with you. You have to do that because if you identify and it becomes personal to you, that's where it becomes very difficult. And even like dealing with your kids, like you can clean up a crime scene, and then when your kid like busts their leg open, you're like, it's a completely different situation.
Right. Yeah. It's like going in and cleaning up crime scenes all day, and then the minute you got to change your kid's diaper, you're going, ooh. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, I mean, but that is one thing that does set me off pretty quickly is human shit. You know,
yeah.
We do hoarders. It's fucking human shit is the fucking worst. I don't know. It just is so ill.
How often do you like just walk in and like, you know what? Let's close the door, grab a flamethrower, and just burn the motherfucker to the ground.
I think about it regularly. But you know, we just did a hoarder here in Vegas, and his water had gotten shut off. Probably about 8-9 years ago.
Oh my God.
And so he's shitting in the bathtub, right? And I tried to explain it on Action Junkies, shout out, where it's like the tub is full of shit, right? Corn and peanuts, the whole fucking nine. Yeah. And it's a hard shell.
No.
Yep. Hard shell. And then you got to take that shovel and crack the outer like shell.
I don't.
And then it's soft serve that comes out.
That's you. That's all you, bro. I'm good.
Yeah.
You've solidified in my mind. If I had any question before that, this is not the job that I want.
No, it's not. Just not gonna do it. Yeah, it takes a special person, man, and for sure. I mean, of course, I gagged and threw up because shit is just so fucking bad.
Now, so there's coping mechanisms, right? And for me, dark humor is always like a go-to.
Must.
It's a mandatory, right?
Must in what we do. It is a must.
Yeah.
People will sometimes look and go, fuck, man, you're making fun of the dead, or you're just making fun of a situation, or even the name to the show, right? Dying to see me. That it's disrespectful.
It's so insensitive, Matt. So insensitive.
Right. But for us, it is a coping mechanism to be able to get through the day-to-day life. I mean, I could have called the show "Fucking Humans Are Fucked Up. Look what they do to each other." Right? Like, because that's really what it is.
That would be a great name for a show, though.
That's what it is, right?
Maybe the next show we do that.
We'll do the next one. But for this one, it's like you have to have dark humor. And a lot of the guys that work for me, they work, I would say, 7 to 8 years before they have to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't a longevity thing, right? Like, they get into it because the money's good. They get into it, I think, for the stories and they're making good money and they're on call and they're whatever. But then it comes to a point where they're like, "Fuck, dude, I think I've had enough."
So on that note, I'm curious, and you can tell me we can move past it or whatever. But what does it cost to clean up a freaking homicide or suicide? Like a run of the mill, somebody freaking sat down and blew their head off on their couch.
So, you know, you say run of the mill, but it's just not that simple, right?
True.
I have been to a suicide where somebody has shot themselves in the head and there is a maybe 3 droplets of blood.
Seen that?
Like, easy.
Yep.
I've been to ones where the whole back of their skull is blown out and it's all over the wall, all over the ceiling, and in places like 30 feet away that you would never even think.
Oh, I know.
That places would be there, right?
On that note, my dad, and I'm going to throw him under the bus right now, and I'll tell him later, but he shot his finger off. 45, he was putting his gun in his holster, and the holster was improper. A friend had made it for him, and it cooked the round off, and it blew just his index finger, just the top half of his index finger off. I cleaned it up, and he did the thing where he walked through the house, and then walked back through the house, and walked through the house again, and walked back to his bedroom, and walked back. So there's like blood trail everywhere. But in his bedroom, there were chunks of finger in lampshades behind the freaking dresser. Like, and it's that much. Right. There's not a lot of meat there, but you would be surprised, and you've seen it, but you'd be surprised how much of a mess a finger makes. Yeah. And I've never cleaned up, but I've seen the shotgun blast to the head and what that does. Yeah. And I can't even imagine like the scale of disinfecting and ripping shit out and cleaning stuff up. Like, what does that cost to do? And obviously you're billing insurance for a lot of that, but what does it cost to clean up a crime scene?
So there's a standardized pricing that we use throughout our industry, if you will, right? And it's very standard, right? We bill per technician per hour. We bill for the Tyvek suits. We bill for the biohazard container, because you can't just throw this shit in the trash, right? You have to take it in and go get it incinerated. You have to have your transportation license for biohazard. I mean, there's so many variables that go into it. We have a pure oxygenized ozone machine that puts pure oxygen into the air to get the smell out. So if somebody's been dead for 2 weeks, right? And we have to get the smell out.
I usually just take my clothes and throw them away.
That's what I would do. Burn it. But, sometimes people want to come back and live in this house. Yeah. So it varies. I would just venture to say that, like a suicide, just a regular suicide, and again, do we have to cut up the couch? Do we have to rip out the floor? There's so many variables, right? It could be probably anywhere from $2,500 to $7,500. Okay. Give or take, right? But again, that's all insurance money. It never will come out of your pocket. Any company that does this, that charges you right out of the gate, I would immediately veer from. It should never be like that. Even if you don't have homeowners insurance, even if you don't, unless it's discussed prior, it's just not the way that it should be done. Gotcha. The fact is, the company should come in, talk about what's going to happen, and then clean. Yeah. Not say, hey, give me a deposit, right? Mm-hmm. And then bill my insurance company and show the insurance company the receipt. Doesn't work like that. Yeah. That's just a company that is not doing what they're supposed to do. Because we're on like a net 90 to net 120, right? We don't get paid for 90 days usually.
Interesting.
Yeah, it takes quite some time.
Yeah, it's insurance companies. They're always trying to figure out how long they can hold on to your money for as long as they possibly can and avoid paying out if they possibly can.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people don't understand, right? I think we talked about this prior to filming. Is that the insurance company? It doesn't matter if you've never had a claim, you've never done anything. They don't work for you. The insurance or the adjusters work for the insurance company. That's who pays their bills. Yeah. Where I work for you, so my goal is to ensure that it gets cleaned the correct way per OSHA standards, right? Mm-hmm. So that we're not having a smell come back or other potentially infectious material still left in the house to where, you get maggots or you start to get the smell. You're breathing fucked up shit, right? Yeah. That's my goal, is to get that done and ensure that you're paid back for your personal property that's lost. And things of this nature,
That's fascinating, man.
Yeah, we did a bank robbery one time where they killed the manager inside the vault, and so what happens with that is that some money can be cleaned and some can't, depending on how much saturated, and money that has to be disposed of. We have to take pictures of the serial numbers, show where it is, and then we have to dispose of it and incinerate it, and then give that to the Treasury Department so that they can get those bills out of circulation and so on and so
I've
forth.
never once thought about that.
Right.
What do you do when you have a bank robbery and the money got splattered with blood? Well, we throw it in a bag and then we dispose of it. But you have to have all that tracked and shit because otherwise you're just gonna dispose of a lot of money.
Right. Yeah. And then they don't know where it is, or it's a must. And then there's times that we've gone in and there's been a home invasion and somebody got shot but didn't die, and then there's blood all over. We did a Picasso one time.
Oh wow.
$7 million painting.
Wow.
$7 million painting, but it's canvas. You cannot clean that.
Wow.
And it is, so, I mean, just imagine, right? Obviously, most people that have paintings of that sort, each individual piece has its own insurance.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right.
So, that it's covered, but I mean,
but it's irreplaceable. I mean, they're not buying that most of the time, especially your art lovers. You're not buying that because you want to get the money back if it ever was destroyed. You're buying that because it's an original Picasso. You can't replace that. It's irreplaceable.
Yeah, Picasso's not making it anymore. he's not fucking making it anymore.
We'll just replace that. I'll do another one for you. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, it's the same thing with guns, right? Like you buy a gun because you like it. You're not buying guns because every single day you're going out, or every once a week you're going out and shooting these guns. I'm a gun fanatic. That's your job, right? They're different. Yeah. But for the guy like myself that is a gun enthusiast, I love guns, but I don't go out and shoot every day, every week, right? Yeah. I might go out once every other month, right? It's hard.
Well, we got to get those. Those are rookie numbers. We got to pump those numbers.
We need to get together, right? Yeah, we need to get.
We'll
together.
Make it happen.
Yeah, I just saw this. Where Smith & Wesson just came out with their 5.7. And I really want to get one of those and get out there and see how that fares to the Ruger and the FN. But I have all of them except for the Smith & Wesson. But I think it'd be we need to get out there and
I'll have to go check it out.
Get some shots off. But it's over there at the Sands right now. They got one.
That's where I'm going right after this.
Smith & Wesson booth. So crazy, man. Did you ever think that this would be your lifestyle?
No, I grew up in the convention industry, so I would travel. My family would be on the road for 6 months out of the year, and we would go to conventions all over the country selling books. We sold books to homeschoolers, and kind of a weird way to grow up, but we'd be in a bus from March till September selling books. And when I was like figuring out my life path, 18, 19 years old, I was like, you know what? I don't want to do that. I want to get a job that's steady and secure and be good to go. And I'll have a retirement and I'll do that route. Because my brother was entrepreneurial, my sister was entrepreneurial. I'm like, I don't want any of that. I want to just be like stable. And then now I'm gone 2/3 of the year, traveling, making my own business, several businesses now, sure. and doing my own thing. So training all over the place. I have online training programs. I have competitions, and I go to expos and stuff like that, work with companies and promote and all that. So it's a totally different life path than I expected at the time. And as I got into it, I'm like, yeah, this is absolutely where I want to go.
Yeah. And are you married?
I was. Yes. So I got married at 19, and then that didn't last. I had 2 awesome children. We have a good working relationship now. It's not like a nasty situation. So we co-parent and homeschool the kids together. So it works out okay.
Yeah. Are you single? Are you dating? What are you out
I am
doing?
dating. Nice. So I've got a girlfriend. Actually, it's the long distance situation. So I live in Florida. She lives in California. I mean, I couldn't find one closer apparently, but we have a lot of trips back and forth, and since I'm on the road a lot, it works out to get over here pretty regularly, so we don't go too far apart.
Yeah, when you're out in California, man, you're gonna have to come out and check me out.
Yeah, man.
We'll go to a couple shooting ranges where I'm a member of, and some private ranges, and it's really, really nice. So
absolutely,
yeah,
make it happen. I just did a private class day before yesterday out there.
Right. Maybe I get my employees and kind of get them out to shoot with you and just just have a little good day of it, man.
Be a good time.
Be awesome. Fuck yeah.
We'll talk about that offline.
Talk about that
we'll make
offline
that happen.
a little bit.
We like to shoot guns.
Yeah. Man, I really appreciate you coming out. I know we're pressed for
having me
time. For my first show, I think it's awesome that you came, and thank you so much for being on. Thank you for what you do and teaching people how to responsibly use the weapons that they have, so that I'm not having to come in and clean up some fucking accidents, which does happen.
Yep.
But yeah, man, for sure. Go ahead and tell them how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, Matt. My Instagram is Joe_Farewell. And then if you guys are interested in training, I have two different options for that. farewellfirearms.com or dryfiremastery.com. And that's where I have my online programs, whether it's handgun or competition, or I have an online community where I post consistent content up there, training content and tips and stuff like that. So there's video-based courses. If you're a new gun owner or somebody who needs foundational pistol work, that's one of the biggest industries now, and that's going to be a good option for you. So dryfiremastery.com is the best place. And if you have questions or anything like that, social media is where I'm at.
Perfect. Yeah. Shout out to Action Junkies and Bizarre Junkies. You were just on Action Junkies, right?
I was just on Action Junkies, and I was walking out, and you were walking in, and I'm like, let's just jump on
right
here.
Yeah. So make sure you guys check those out. You can find me on 4U2NV661 and also Sterile Pros LLC on Instagram, and dying to see me will be soon. I don't know exactly what days, but we'll get them in the rotation, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys later. Thanks a lot for coming on the show.
Thank you, brother.